No practice today for Sophie Cunningham with an illness and Caitlin Clark with a back fever with their first of 4 days of practice during the Commissioner's Cup break. Damiris Dantas also getting some individual treatment. Now, Tony East also reports Clark is going to do...
The scene is painfully familiar. Caitlin Clark, the most transformative force women's basketball has ever seen, is nowhere to be found at Indiana Fever practice. Not on the court, not in the huddle, not even in the building. She's back in some training room doing individual work while her teammates run 5-on-5 drills without her. And Stephanie White, the head coach tasked with harnessing the Clark phenomenon, has nothing to say. No timeline, no clarity, no answers. Just vague platitudes about getting her legs under her and easing her back in there. This isn't just another injury update. This is the Fever organization repeating the exact same catastrophic pattern that nearly derailed Caitlin Clark's rookie season before it ever truly began. Last year, Clark missed critical practice time, never got the contact work she needed, and entered games without the physical foundation required to survive the WNBA's brutal defensive gauntlet. Now history is echoing on itself. Clark misses today's practice. Clark missed Saturday's game. Clark has missed 4 or 5 days since the injury occurred. And the coaching staff, led by Stephanie White, offers nothing but crickets when asked about their generational superstar. The silence is deafening, and it reeks of the same organizational dysfunction that has defined the Indiana Fever for years. While Clark sits on the sideline, the Fever are posting videos of players laughing and jacking up threes during practice, not working on defensive slippage, not addressing the individual skill work that separates championship teams from also-rans. Caitlin Clark, the player who sells out every arena she enters, the player who shattered television ratings, the player who made the Fever relevant for the first time since Tamika Catchings retired, is being treated like an afterthought by the very franchise that owes its resurgence to her brilliance. The immediate fallout from Caitlin Clark's absence is not just about one game. It's about the Fever's entire offensive and defensive identity crumbling without their floor general. When Caitlin Clark misses practice, she misses the reps that build chemistry with teammates like Aaliyah Boston and Lexi Hull. She misses the timing needed to execute Stephanie White's offensive sets. She misses the defensive communication that has been the Fever's Achilles heel all season.
And driving drills and catch and shoot drills, and this is just all too familiar. I would be remiss if I told you that I wasn't skeptical. I'm looking through everything these people say with a microscope, with a magnifying glass, going over everything that they put on paper or they tweet with a fine-tooth comb. Oh yeah, Caitlin Clark, she's coming along good.
Remember when Stephanie White stood at that podium last year and told everyone Caitlin Clark was coming along good, while simultaneously admitting she hadn't practiced 5-on-5, hadn't taken contact, and was stuck doing no-contact drills? Remember the videos that flooded social media of Clark practicing alone, doing dribble drills and pull-up shooting threes in an empty gym while her teammates ran full-court scrimmages? That was the warning sign. That was the canary in the coal mine. And now, here we are again, watching Stephanie White say the exact same things with the exact same hollow optimism. Caitlin Clark's back injury has become a symbol of everything wrong with the Fever organization. How does a player of Clark's magnitude, a player who carried the Fever's entire offensive load last season, who played more minutes than any rookie in recent memory, who was targeted by every opposing defense with physical, borderline dangerous tactics, not receive the medical and coaching support needed to actually heal? Instead, Clark is left to do individual work while her coaches publicly admit they have no updates on their star player. 5 days post-injury, no updates for Caitlin Clark, the player whose jersey sales alone generate more revenue than most WNBA franchises. The long-term strategic consequences are staggering. Every practice Clark misses is a practice where the Fever's offense reverts to isolation basketball and contested threes, the exact style that has plagued Indiana all season. Caitlin Clark is not just a scorer, she's a system. She's the engine that makes Aaliyah Boston's post-game work, that creates open looks for Kelsey Mitchell, that spaces the floor for everyone. Without Clark on the court practicing, developing chemistry, building that telepathic connection with her teammates, the Fever are fundamentally less dangerous. And Stephanie White, for all her supposed coaching acumen, seems content to let Clark work in isolation rather than integrating her into the full team structure.
Fever head coach Stephanie White spoke today as the team gets extended time off. Sophie Cunningham out sick. No updates on Clark, but she's doing individual work today, not at practice. No updates. You have no updates on your star player. 3 days after she got injured. Even more, because they played on Saturday and she wasn't there. So what would be like 4 or 5 days after Caitlin Clark got injured? 5 days past injury, and we don't have an update on Caitlin Clark? Yeah. This is malpractice.
Compare this situation to previous WNBA eras. When Diana Taurasi was injured during the Phoenix Mercury's championship runs, the organization provided transparent timelines and clear communication about her recovery. When Breanna Stewart tore her Achilles, the Seattle Storm kept fans and media informed every step of the way. The Indiana Fever, by contrast, has created a black hole of information around Caitlin Clark's health. Clark has a back injury, according to reports. Clark is working out individually. Clark isn't ready for contact yet. That's the extent of what the public knows about the most important player in the league. Stephanie White's coaching decisions are under a microscope now more than ever. Her comments about slippage in practice, admitting that the Fever need to address execution defensively and offensively, ring hollow when her star player isn't even participating in drills. How can the Fever address defensive slippage without Caitlin Clark, who is arguably the team's most intelligent defender despite her physical limitations? How can they fine-tune offensive details when their primary playmaker is relegated to individual workouts? White's admission that she doesn't have clear-cut expectations for her team is a damning indictment of her leadership. Professional sports franchises thrive on clarity, on standards, on accountability. The Fever, under White, seems to be drifting aimlessly, hoping Caitlin Clark's individual brilliance will mask the organizational deficiencies. The slippage White references isn't just on the court. It's in the coaching staff's inability to develop a cohesive system that maximizes Caitlin Clark's unprecedented skill set. It's in the front office's failure to surround Clark with the veteran leadership and defensive toughness she needs. It's in the medical staff's questionable handling of Clark's back injury. The Fever is treating Caitlin Clark like a luxury, not the cornerstone of the franchise. And Clark, who has always been gracious and team-first in public, must be privately seething at the lack of support she's receiving.
Do you have any updates on Caitlin and her status, or you expect her to practice today?
No, she's going to be doing an individual workout today.
No updates on her star player. Doing an individual work. She's not ready for contact yet. We're going to start getting her contact. We're going to start easing her back in there. We're going to start getting our legs under her. You know, it's different between workout shape and game shape. We heard all this bullshit last year.
Do you think the break comes at a good time? Just on that note, I mean, I feel like the week off at any point in the season is good.
Yeah.
Just specifically now.
Yeah, I mean, of course, we'd love to be playing in the Commissioner's Cup. You know, there's no question.
The team chemistry questions are equally concerning. Aaliyah Boston, Lexi Hull, and the rest of the Fever roster are practicing, building continuity while Caitlin Clark works alone. The disconnect between Clark and her teammates grows with every missed practice. The rhythm and timing that define great offenses can't be developed in isolation. When Clark eventually returns, if she returns, she'll be playing catch-up, trying to integrate into a system that has been running without her. The Fever's recent stretch of basketball has been defined by defensive breakdowns and offensive stagnation. Without Clark to create shots and organize the offense, the Fever has looked lost. And the longer Clark is out, the more difficult it becomes to reintegrate her into the lineup. The high-stakes climax of this story is approaching. The WNBA season is a marathon, but every game matters in the playoff race. The Fever cannot afford to drop winnable games while Caitlin Clark recovers. Yet, the team's performance without Clark has been inconsistent at best, disastrous at worst. If the Fever continues this pattern of unclear communication, inadequate preparation, and uninspired coaching, they risk not only missing the playoffs but also alienating the most important player in franchise history. Caitlin Clark deserves better. The Fever's fans, who have packed arenas and boosted ratings, deserve better. The league, which has hitched its wagon to Clark's star, deserves better. Is Stephanie White the right coach to lead the Fever into the Caitlin Clark era? The evidence, at least so far, suggests otherwise. A head coach who can't provide updates on her star player, who admits to having no clear expectations for her team, who presides over a practice culture that prioritizes jacking threes over defensive fundamentals, is not a championship-level coach. The Fever's decision-makers must look at this situation with cold, hard clarity. Caitlin Clark is not just any player, she is the player. The franchise's entire future rests on her shoulders, and if the organization can't support her, protect her, and maximize her talents, then perhaps a reckoning is coming.